Hey folks, it's Chris Dyer with the Martial Alchemy channel, and we are on part 2 of the British Manly Exercises from 1835. Let's take a look. Okay, so the very first part of today's video, we enter into the great debate, strength versus art. So the argument made is that which is better, strength versus art, art being the skill of the craft of boxing. The argument that this author makes is that art is way more important because an artful person can learn to hone their body to increase their power output, where a person who has lots of strength but no skill or art of boxing is actually wasting their strength. So they can't put their strength to use in an efficient manner, while a person who's more artful can use every ounce of their body weight, put it behind each strike, and can increase their chances as opposed to wasting potential energy. All right, so I'm 100% on board with this argument. I 100% believe that art, more than anything else, makes up for strength. Okay? The next part that we cover is the stances. So nothing too out of the ordinary. Very detailed explanation of what the stances are. You have foot forward, foot back, angle the feet out, the slight angle. That's your foot forward, that's your left side usually, right side is back. Nothing too extreme here. But then he goes. Hi, this is Chris Dyer with the Martial Alchemy channel, and if you're enjoying this content, we have some great news. We now have a video for sale. The link is in the description below. It is titled The Old School Boxing Method of Self-Defense, and it's a compilation of our favorite techniques from our popular series, Old School Boxing. A link is in the description below. Now back to the content. Here. But then he goes into a couple different things that we want to focus on when doing strikes. So line of power is one of the terms that we would use today. So by keeping this position, I don't want anything to come outside here. So this is what typically happens with a strong person who doesn't have a lot of art. So my hands are in this position. A person generates a lot of power by winding up and throwing a big strike like this. We know that this is a good way of delivering power, but it also does lots of really bad things. So you can extreme things here. We just lift the arm up like this and bring a big hook around, for example. That there's wasted power in this by coming around. We're opening ourselves up. We're losing a lot of power. What they say to do is keep it a very, very straight line strike. If you're going to do something around, you want to move your body in position and then do it as fine as possible. Like this is key to doing an artful strike, right? We don't want to wind up like this, drop our hand unnecessarily far back. That is right from here. If I want to do a big power strike, I can rotate my body into it, keep this in a straight line from my fist to that target, and then at the very last second, I can change that angle as necessary. This is the artful way of doing the strike. So nothing too extreme there. The next part is straight attacks versus circular attacks. So we just talked about the hook, that these are great for getting to certain targets, but the ideal strike to do is a straight line attack. So if I'm on guard, either my lead hand or my rear hand going straight from where they are. Now, one thing that's not mentioned in this that I will point out, you can 100% do a straight line attack with a hook, and that's just what I was just demonstrating. So if I move offline, so instead of doing a straight line strike here, I just move offline a little bit, and I take my hand, I draw a straight line from my knuckles to my target, and the only thing that changes is my arm positioning. If I draw like a line from here to here, it's going to go straight into position, but I'm just angling around to get around different things. So this is a way of being artful, doing a straight line attack, even though the target needs to get around, say, a guard here. It's a much faster way of doing a hook. Okay. And then the next part that we cover is when to tense muscles. So if my hands are super, super tight, I'm trying to throw a strike, I'm obviously fighting against myself by maintaining that, and it's also exhausting. So you don't want to do that. You want to be nice and loose. We've talked about this in other videos. You want to be able to blow through your hands, that they're open, they're open, they're open, and the only thing that matters is that moment of impact. So when I hit, boom, then I tense the muscles, and they go into detail about the muscles in the arms being used to increase the force that you can deliver power. 100% accurate, yes. By being loose, we're fast, and then by tensing the muscles at the right moment, we're going to increase the force that we hit them with. Okay, this is all good stuff so far. The next thing that we cover is never throw a strike without the follow-up in mind. So what he suggests is either guard or strike, doesn't matter which, but we never just snap it out here without thinking about what we want to do next. We never just hit and then go, oh no, what do I do next, right? It's either come back to guard or think about using this to set up what's next, in my own training and when I'm working with students, I always describe it like this. That is, the first one is all about speed. Speed. You need to get it out there as fast as possible. This is the distraction. The next one is the build-up or the setup. And then the third one is the coup de grace, so the final strike. So it should be escalating. It's never just wail and go as hard and powerful as possible. That is fast first, set up next, and then finally that third one is going to be your coup de grace, or however many you need to get to set up the situation. So never just snap it out there and hope for the best. Maybe something else will happen, right? The next thing he covers is jab cross. He says it's extremely common, that it makes a lot of sense because they're both lead things and they cover along that same idea that I was just talking about. That this one is fast, this one is a little bit more powerful. But don't always do this. So they recommend that you don't just stick with jab cross, jab cross, jab cross, jab cross. Like this person is going to quickly realize what your game is and be able to exploit it. So most of the time we'll stick with this, but sometimes you do your cross jab or your chopper and then a hook or whatever it happens to be. You have to change it up. If you do the same thing over and over again, it's easy, it's predictable, and you become basically a still target because you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, the next part of this is obviously milling. So we've talked about this in other videos. So milling is this concept of it's going to be hard for them to tell what my strike is. If I want to be unpredictable, by changing my guard and moving around a little bit, is this a uppercut? Is this a rolling back fist? Is this a hook punch? That's going to be hard for them to tell as I'm moving my arms around. So all really good, useful pieces that they recommend in this. It's nothing new that we haven't seen before, but it's just put in a very, very clear, concise this. These are all good skills to practice as a boxer. All right, so far this is a great manual. I'm really enjoying it. Let's take a look at the next one in our next video.